Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijanna Balava Jivanadari Gopijanna Balava Jivanadari Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Chamunitira Vanatari Chamunitira Vanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balava Jivanadari Jasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Chamunitira Vanatari Jamuna Tira Vanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pribhajakacharya Sita Deshishim His Divine Grace of Ajadan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Kota Vaishya Brinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Shri Goho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Go Bhakti Brinda Ki Say Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Gita Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Ki Mathura Dham Ki Dwarka Dham Ki Navadip Dham Ki Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jamuna Maya Ki Ganga Maya Ki Tosi Maharani Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Sambhita Bhaktivinda Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Say Sri Radha Giridhari Ki Shri Krishna Sankirtana Jaga Ki Go Premanande. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to divine lotus seat to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun. has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied with knowledge, religion, etc. Persons who have lost their vision to the dense darkness of the age of Kali shall get light out of this Purana. Before beginning our study of the srimadbhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, so much for our means of conquest. We should first offer respects to the personality of God in Narayan, under the Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, the goddess, the living mother Saraswati, the author Srila Vyasadeva, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
We don't do the verse anymore? On strike? Jamal in the kitchen, either write the verse beforehand or find someone else to do it. But we're not in a void of a vacuum. I don't mean to make you feel bad, but this is the voice of God. No, you should just do it. Istva. Do you have devices? What do you have? Yes, good point. It is 4th canto, chapter 9, text 24. So 4:9:24. You guys are, and she's there. Somebody's ahead of the game. Ishva Mam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Ante Mam Samsmarishyasi Isvamam Yagya Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Antemam Samsmarishyasi Istvamam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Antemam Samsmarishyasi Isvamam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Antemam Samsmarishyasi Isvamam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Antemam Samsmarishyasi Istvamam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Antemam Samsmarishyasi Isvamam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai Pushkala Dakshinahi Bhuktva Chehasisha Satya Samsmarishyasi Isvamam Yagya Hridayam Yagyai pushkala dakshinahi. Bhukva chehasisa satya. Antimam sam samarishyasi ištva. After worshipping. Mam, me. Yagya hridayam, the heart of all sacrifices. Yagyai, by great sacrifices. Pushkala dakshinahi, comprehending distribution of great charities. Bhukva, after enjoying. Cha, also. Iha, within this world. Asisha, blessing. Satya, true. Ante, at the end. Mam, me. Smam, sam, smarishyasi, you will be able to remember. Translation. The Lord continued. And who's he speaking to? The Lord continued. I am the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you'll be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life. And at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. Sounds like an attractive package. The Lord continued. I am the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life. And at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. Purport. The most important factor in this verse is the Lord's instructions regarding how to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead at the end of life. Ante Narayana Smriti, Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 1st Chapter, Text 6. The result of whatever we do in executing spiritual activities is successful if we get mystic powers? No. Okay, good. We merge into the Supreme? Nope. If we can remember Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This program of constant remembrance can be disturbed by many things, but Dhruva Maharaj's life would be so pure, as assured by the Lord himself, that Dhruva would never forget him, Krishna. Thus, at the time of his death, he would remember the Supreme Lord, and before his death, he would enjoy this material world, not by sense gratification, but by performing great sacrifices. As stated in the Vedas, when one performs great sacrifices, he must give charity, not only to the Brahmins, but also to the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. It is assured here that Dhruva Maharaj would be able to perform such activities. In this age of Kali, however, the great sacrifice is performance of Sankirtan Jaga. Our Krishna consciousness movement is designed to teach people, and to learn ourselves, the exact instructions of the Personality of Godhead. In this way, we shall continuously perform the Sankirtan Jaga and continuously chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Then, at the end of our lives, we shall certainly be able to remember Krishna, and our program of life will be successful. In this age, distribution of prasadam has replaced distribution of money. No one has sufficient money to distribute, but if we distribute Krishna prasadam as far as possible, this is more valuable than the distribution of money. I was just thinking briefly how, before we get into the body of the class, how expert Prabhupada did all of this. Good morning to you. With Ratha Yatra. I mean, the whole thing is there. It's a huge sacrifice. It's not just for Brahmins, not just for everybody, all stripe, color. I'm thinking of this because I'm usually sitting in the prasadam booth at the LA Ratha Yatra. And as I have said before, it's in the Bhagavatam, I accept. No question about it. But I always wondered, 400,000 varieties. I mean, different shades of the modes of nature, mental states, physiology, so many things. Okay, fine. But, it's pretty far out, 400,000. But then I remember serving prasadam in the LA Rath Yatra in the prasadam booth at Venice Beach. And you see, I thought, you know what? It's a fact. Because you see the whole spectrum of all even my favorite is the plant man. You know, the guy who dresses like a tree on stilts? And then one year he had a plant lady with him, a tree lady. So every species somehow or other, that they find their, cohort or whatever, and off they go. So just Prabhupada's genius that everyone likes prasadam. Everyone, generally speaking. I had a lady at the Laguna Beach Rath Yatra. I don't want to go too far afield. But she told me, these two, it's Sunday, beach. I remember being a young kid. Prabhupada said young man, young boy, is always hungry. I would wake me up in the middle of the night. I'm ready to go, You're growing, you're hungry. So these two young boys, brothers, turned out. Maybe one is 12, the other is 10, something like that. Free food, zik, they're lined up, And I made them a nice big plate, and they were each one was just about to tuck into it, and their mother swooped in like a protective eagle. Don't touch that food. I said, okay. I said, you're the mother, I'm a parent also. I know the feeling, I respect whatever you have to say. But can I ask why? She said, you put drugs in that food. I said, what? I said, come on. I said, why do you say that? She said, look at you. So I know something about you. She says, no boyfriend, girlfriend, you're up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're vegetarian, you must put drugs. Otherwise, how are you all happy? Because she looked at all the devotees who were actually quite happy, So I said, madam, did you ever consider that we're happy because we don't do all those things? We had a nice conversation, and meanwhile the boys are salivating, waiting for their prasad, and she mellowed out, she took a plate, they took a plate, and it's all happy ever after. But the point is that Prabhupada's genius and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's genius, that you just chant. Everyone likes to chant, sing, dance. They're all at the rock, they're all wishing they could be on the stage singing along. Kirtan is 100% participatory. You can jump right in. You may not be a very good singer. Doesn't matter. May not be a very good dancer. Like white men can't dance or whatever it is, Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. And as soon as you do it, you begin to just feel free. I was thinking about the other day, after a blissful, or in the middle of a blissful kirtan, devotees are racing back and forth. It's going like a locomotive, Haribo! They never have felt that. They've never felt that supreme, sublime happiness, relief, full presence of self. I was talking with somebody, said, why are you talking to yourself? And then the devotee responded, I'm the only one who will listen to me. And I asked my father, why do you talk to yourself? He says, I'm the only one who understands me, So it's a rough world. And yet, in the kirtan, it doesn't matter. Remember Irving? And you have to know Irving to appreciate. Irving was quite a character, Small guy, stuttered, We had, on a different vein, we had a guy, Paripurna. Paripurna, he's still around. He's in Texas and Dallas. And he had the worst stutter. He had a stutter and a twitch. And later on, his chart said he was born when 2 planets collided or through something, and he had a rough childhood. But you can imagine, you're a kid and you stutter and twitch. Children can be merciless. Elementary school, he just went through it, no girlfriend, just the whole scene, right? He became a very good musician. And I remember one of the devotees told me, hey, look. And we looked, and he was singing bhajan, no twitch, no stutter. He would stop chanting, and he would, again, the stutter and the twitch would come back. When he was chanting, he was completely relaxed, free from anxiety, free from... and gradually it got to the point, it completely went away. As longer he was a devotee, you would never know, no stutter, unless the prasadam was really, really good. And it's something, I'll take a little halava. You know, sometimes it's the only time he would stutter if the prasadam was excellent. But my point, I don't know, my point was that the perfect jaga, think of these people who've never experienced that complete, what Prabhupada calls it, one of those great phrases by Prabhupada, the unfettered freedom of the self. They've never felt it. It's sad. Okay. I wanted to say something about the distribution of prasadam and the genius of it. Oh, and it's perfect. You chant, you dance, you become a little hungry, you take prasadam. It happens so many times. People have never seen this before. Rath Yatra goes by, they watch, they get a little interested, they take a little prasadam, and then what is the next question? What are you guys all about? What is this all about? Oh, we just, guess what? Step over here to our book booth, sir or madam. So they chant, they dance, they become a little purified, they become curious. What is this? I've never experienced anything like this. What is this? Well, guess what? We just happen to have some explanatory literature right here. So it's the perfect jaga in the age, and anyone can perform it. I was arrested in Rockford, Illinois. Myself, a devotee named Upananda, not the Prabhupada, a different one, and there it was, the three of us. We went on Madunga, kartal players, and one of us was passing out Back to Godhead magazines. A couple local street kids, 3 or 4 black kids jumped in, were dancing. We were arrested for holding a parade without a license. It was an instant parade, you know. There were 6 of us. A little straggly, you know, but, you know, playing Madunga. People jumped right in, you know, holding a parade without a license. It was just add water, you know. Just add the holy name. So, let's get to the body of the class. Now, Dhruva Maharaj has just won the lottery. It sounds like material lottery. I mean, he's living for so many years, thousands of years, king, his own planet, enjoying, you know, goes back to Godhead at the end of his life. Wow, sign me up. How is Dhruva feeling? Anyone know? Do you think, hey, thumbs up, you know? He felt badly. This is the mindset of a devotee. He's not thinking, oh man, I lucked out, I got everything on my senses are waiting. No. He's thinking, I approached Krishna, you know, for something material. And because I approached something for material, I'm not going, Krishna didn't take me back home, back to Godhead immediately. You know? Krishna knew that I had these core desires. He didn't have them once he saw Vishnu, but he'd had these core desires. He wanted to be, you know, honored, recognized, greater than his grandfather or great-grandfather? Huh? Yeah. So many things. And as they say, it's not enough to enjoy, not enough to succeed, but you have to dance on the heads of your enemies. Then it's the full package. And you find this in the Bible. They're in heaven. And they're looking down from sitting at the right hand of God, and they can hear the gnashing of teeth and the wailing in heaven, in hell. And they're thinking, it is good. I mean, that's not a Vaishnava sentiment. That's another thing. So Dhruva is feeling disappointed. So this is well, I guess I'll say it this way because I'm thinking how to pack it all into a few minutes. Dhruva got all these rewards, and then he said, at the end of your life, now what will an intelligent person conclude? I've got all this stuff stacked up, great material stuff, but at the end of your life, what does that mean? At the end of the life, it means your life will end. It's all going to end. It's what would you say? It was not just figuratively, but it is literally phantasmagoria. Because this life goes, and dust to dust, ashes to ashes. So Dhruva's thinking, why didn't I just ask Krishna, take me back to God? I want to go back to Godhead now. I don't have any desires. The thing is, and I'm not Dhruva Maharaj, because Dhruva Maharaj is a Mahajan and a great soul, but, well, I guess I'll say it that way. We're not convinced, certainly I can speak for myself, that there's really nothing in this world. We're always thinking that there's something. I'm going to find a comfortable place. I'm going to find what I want. Well, this is very valuable. We do a play. It's a skit that we should do. There's so many nice skits. And this one, I forget how it goes. There's a devotee. There's a river, stream, let's say, but a strongly coursing river. And there's these different people show up, and they're all carrying these bags of rocks. And they want to cross over, because where the devotees are is all beautiful and, sylvan, celestial scene. Oh.
No shoes. Oh, no shoes. No shoes.
No shoes, no drinking, and a good bath would help. But if you could take your shoes off,
Wait a minute.
Shoes off, and you're welcome to come in. Well, that's a bit of a distraction. We're in the middle of a class, my friend. Thank you. See you later. Get him some prasadam. Run, because he's going to disappear. Run and get that if anyone needed it. No, we don't want to get involved in his life, but Zach's quick. Go get him some prasadam. So where were we? Dhruva Maharaj. You have some prasad? Thank you, Bhakti Zach. Because we were talking about prasadam, and you may not remember this, but it is shows you it's a sutra from Srila Prabhupada about the power of prasadam. What happens if you eat? Thank you very much, Bhakti. Did he take it?
No, it's gone.
What do you mean he's gone? How hard did you look? He's walking slow.
I think he was,
On a bike?
I don't know,
I don't buy it, but there it is. Okay, Hari Sari's parents came to see him at Bhaktivedanta Manor. He'd been in Australia. He hadn't seen his parents for 6 years. Joined as a devotee in Australia. He's Prabhupada's servant. Prabhupada went into London for preaching. Hari Sari stayed at Bhaktivedanta Manor to meet with his parents. And his parents were very impressed by the temple, by the devotees. He presented Krishna consciousness so nicely, they bought a Bhagavad Gita. When Prabhupada came back, Hari Sari narrated this. Prabhupada said, did they get prasadam? And Hari Sari said, it was the Sunday feast they'd served earlier. He couldn't find any prasadam, and his parents didn't get any prasadam. Prabhupada's like, oh. He said Prabhupada's move was like, well, what was the use? You may have talked, but they didn't get prasadam. Prabhupada said one time, if you eat off a diseased man's plate, what happens? You get their disease, isn't it? You get sick, yeah. And every sickness has disease, has symptoms. Fever, headache, upset stomach, right? Eat off a diseased person's plate, you get their disease. Every disease has symptoms. You eat off Krishna's plate, that's what prasadam is. What will happen? Allegorically. Analogy. You get Krishna's disease. You're eating off Krishna's plate, you get Krishna's disease. And with every disease, there's symptoms. What are the symptoms of Krishna's disease? Sat, Chit, Ananda, Prabhupada said, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. And then as only Prabhupada could say, he said, and there is no cure. So this disease we want to get, so we really won't be, what could you do? You tried. But it's the only hope. And from that, they take a little prasadam, then their next life, and eventually they become a devotee. It may take some time, but what else do we have but time in this world? So, back to the few minutes we have to Dhruva Maharaj. There are so many distractions in this world. And that's what it says in the purport. There's so many... and we should understand that it is a dangerous place if we really think about it. People are... So, there's that section in Bhagavad Gita when Krishna says, be thou happy by this sacrifice. That all men, everyone's driven by lust. And everybody has to work. Motivated by desires. And how to work, one should work as a sacrifice to Vishnu. And if you work in that consciousness, you become happy, the demigods become happy, there's mutual reciprocal prosperity. So I saw a church, they have those, signboards out in front that give whatever the lecture that week is going to be. And it said, what a friend we have in Jesus. Which is true on one hand. And if you think about it, what a friend we have in Krishna. I mean, Krishna's he's given us the whole process. It's easy. All we have to do is sincerely follow it. And at the end of life, we'll remember Krishna and go back to Godhead. It's just, and we'll be happy. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, happy in this life and went back to Godhead. So similarly for us, if we could just... Dhruva wanted revenge. He was angry. I remember I had an argument. I'm remembering one of many. I'm remembering a specific argument. No, you're right. You're completely correct. I'm remembering a specific argument. In those days, we used to have for breakfast in Detroit, halava, baked potatoes, halava with wax paper. We have wax paper for plates. It would just soak through. It had to have enough ghee or butter. So halava, baked potatoes, peanuts and raisins, khichdi. Did I say baked potatoes? And definitely sweet rice or some, Mangalarti sweets. Because they made enough Mangalarti sweets. You get a cup of sweet rice, a piece or two of burfi, sandesh, fruit. It lasted for about an hour and then you'd pass out, But that first hour, man, you were jet fueled. So I remember I had the temple command, and we actually got to the point of shouting at each other, you're in Maya, no, you're in Maya, no, you're in... Actually, we were both completely in Maya. And our temple, our GPC, Satsarupa Swami, was visiting. Nice sannyasi. And I forget, I had to go see him for something, and I was just steaming. And he said, what's the matter? And I said, well, And he said, you should go offer your obeisances and say you're sorry. I said, well, I'm not sorry. And I wasn't wrong. I said, he was wrong, and I'm not sorry. And he said, well, you could be sorry you lost your temper. You can be sorry. I said, okay, he's right. Actually, I could be sorry about that. So I went, and I said, go and offer your obeisances. So I went and offered my obeisances. And the devotee just turned around and walked away. I thought, well, what is this? What was the use? I said, just see. What was the use of it? He said, no. He said, Krishna saw. Krishna saw you take a humble position. And if you want to be victorious, you were the victor. You did the right thing. You took a humble position. Ante Narayana Shmita, or, some Siddhi Haritoshanam. You pleased Krishna. So the point is, how do we become free from anger according to Bhishma? Because, he wanted revenge, he was angry, Dhruva Maharaj. How do we become free from anger? We learn to forgive. And how can we forgive unless we have transcendental knowledge? Who am I? Lower than the straw in the street. Does the straw get up and say, hey, you stepped on me, buddy. Come on back here, I'll show you a thing or two. Try that again, Who are we? What does it mean? I mean, you're all great Vaishnavas who've taken birth to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but, what are we in this world? And how? It's Kali Yuga. We're the bottom of the barrel. Anybody else with a brain has already gotten out. We're like, I saw a guy the other day, all you can see, they're in the trash can or in the dumpster, and all you can see is the legs. They're kind of like full into it. I mean, the other day I went to throw out a bag of trash, and it scared the hell out of me. I opened the lid. Whoa, the guy was in the trash can. He was full on, rummaging around. I thought, oh, man, you know. So what's he looking for? Everybody else is throwing it away. And he's like rummaging around. Because they do it because there's that Woodstock pizza place. So I'm pointing away. But there's a pizza place right in the alley, right next to where my apartment is. And they throw out half-eaten pizza boxes. So you get people in there looking for pizza boxes. So, it's just completely rejected, nasty stuff. And you got to get in there and think, hey, thumbs up, man, pepperino. I got a pizza, you know. Sometimes you get 2 or 3 pieces of pizza. And a warm, half-finished soda. It's a baker's banquet, you know. So, what is it in this world? Who are we? And what is it that we've got? You know, Prophet said the demigods won't even come and pass urine on this planet. We're thinking, Grand Canyon. I've been to the Grand Canyon. The world's largest urinal. Who cares for it, you know? The demigods won't even come. So, if we understand who we actually are and what is this place, and I've got my own business. You were telling that nice story yesterday. We've got our own business. You know, cleanse our own heart. But strict with ourselves, lenient with others. That's a Vaishnav's mood. So, if one's in that mood, one's always happy. I had a dream last night. I just remembered it. And someone was shouting at Prabhupada how agitated and angry the devout. We were going to strangle him, you know. And it was that same thing. Prabhupada said the same thing he said in Philadelphia. Oh, he must have come. I must have offended him in a previous life, and now he's come to take his revenge. So Prabhupada was completely undisturbed, you know. Oh, I've offended him. Now he's taking his revenge. So if we have that vision, transcendental, then it's possible to be, and if one's in that state, that's my point. If one's in that state, this world is a completely happy place. We can, when people, you feel, oh, I have to serve Krishna, oh, I have to do the noon artik, or I have to do this, or, no. You don't have to do anything. But we get to do it. If we have that mood, I could be doing so many stupid things, but I have a chance to serve Krishna. So we'll end because we're past time. But I wanted to tell, Prabhupada tells a short Birbal story. Because the point is that Anta Narayana Smriti, the time of death is trying. It's a taxing time. I almost died twice, and it was pretty scary, to tell you the truth. Because you feel everything, and I don't get into it, but you feel everything going, and you can't quite, is this it? Talk to Surah. Surah's almost died. He almost died 3 times. So, what are we prepared for? So, Prabhupada tells this story. There was a pundit who'd arrived at Akbar's court. And the pundit had a challenge. He said, who can guess where I was born? Where did I grow up? What is my home country? What is my homeland, or whatever you call it, Motherland. Where is my motherland? And, in India, it's quite nice. You could, if they wear their turban this way, they're from Punjab. If they wear it this way, they're from Rajasthan. If they wear their dhoti this way, they're from Bengal. Prabhupada said the way a woman parts her hair, you can tell if she's married, you can tell if her husband's home, in the house, you can tell if she's a prostitute. There's a whole, that's culture. Here everybody's got a hoodie and baggy sweatpants, and you don't know if they're a mugger or who they are, But, so the point is, but nobody could guess. There was no accent. He would talk in Parsi, he would talk in Urdu, he would talk in, Bengali. Nobody could figure out who he was. And so Akbar offered a prize. Whoever could figure out who this Pandit was, what was his home country, so many coins of gold. Nobody could do it. So he looked at Birbal, And, some time had passed. So the pundit was there in the court. And one day, Birbal, disguised as just one of the servants, walked by, had a big brass tray full of fruit. Big, heavy, those big trays? Big brass tray. And when he walked by, he pretended to trip, and he dropped it on the man's foot. Oh, sweet mother. In his native tongue. He cursed in his native tongue because he didn't have time to think. It just came out, So that was Prabhupada's story. The purport being, at the time of death, what's in our heart will come out. Death is coming for sure. And what's in our heart will come out. So if we don't practice, and I'll end here, one of the Jayadvaita Swami mentions now and again when he was changing money in JFK to go to India, and the lady in the counter said in her Brooklynese, he's dressed as a nice sannyasi, "This is what I like about you Hare Krishna people. You are what you pretend to be." She was meant to say you are what you're supposed to be. You're walking your talk. So, but are we just pretend? Or are we what we're supposed to be? So on one hand, it is such a nice life. And the other thing is, if we actually practice it at the time of death, we'll remember Krishna. And Krishna, in his kindness, has made it so easy. So there it is. Hare Krishna. Any question, any comment? Good, because I got to go. Hare Krishna.